so astonished that this is happening to us. I mean, it's just heartbreaking to me to see blonde-haired, blue-eyed people running for their lives.
Wow.
And he said that, and I was like, wow.
They're like, everybody, save yourself. Load the bus right now. Oh, sorry, hold on. You black. Wait a minute. There's another bus coming. Oh, another bus coming for you. You can't get on this one. When will it be here? It's going to arrive with the 40-mile-long Russian convoy. So if you just hang tight. Just hang tight, buddy. And here for you.
And that's a shame.
Now, what I will say is Ukraine about it, like for them to not be considered pound for pound on par, their citizens, I think, unexpectedly erupted and participated in a war that Putin didn't plan for.
Yeah,
no, that's true. This has not gone according to plan. He expected this to be over with.
Yep, exactly.
Like they thought that this would be a swift takeover, and it has not been that way. Which is also interesting because at a certain point, it starts to have the opposite effect. Like you no longer look like a dominant nation.
Right, you look like a weakling.
You look
right
kind of weak. Like you can't take over the Ukraine. You're supposed to be. I mean, that's what's going to start happening. And I wonder if that's going to. Hopefully, it doesn't. Hopefully, that doesn't lead him to take more drastic measures to stoke his ego. I mean, he's a 69-year-old man who, he appears to be fixated on his legacy, and what they were mentioning is that everybody who has been the prime minister or premier or czar, whatever you want to call it, of the USSR or Russia or the Soviet Union, they have all taken back or regained land or countries or stations that were once theirs. Right, they added to the USSR. Land, I should say they added. Maybe they weren't once theirs, but they overtook them and they added too. So he supposedly is one trying to regain this portion of land. So one that kind of cements his legacy as one of the top leaders, Soviet leaders of all time. Yes, yeah, he trying to be up there with Lenin, and Stalin. There you go. Yeah. Which one of them is still? I mean, that's a little spooky though. Which one of them can you still go see? Is it Stalin? I think it's Lenin. I think it's Lenin. I'm almost certain, but I can't remember. One of them is still laying there in state. I'd be like, man, I don't want to see no dude that's been dead 89 years. Oh man, yeah. He might be mummified, so you might see him like a King Tut or something. Well, no, he's not wrapped up. He is. You can see his face. You can still see his goatee, mustache, and everything in a suit, like a taxidermy. Yeah, I guess something like that. Yeah. That sounds about white. Facts. Right. No way in the world your grandma would have Earl just sitting up there with his Sunday best on, waiting for y'all to come see them. What is happening here? Okay. Hey, they got that new trend now. I saw that. Great, like they dress sitting up in your house like you live and stuff, and people coming out. Somebody playing PlayStation. Yeah, man. Hey, what trend is this? This must be on social media. No, it was out. This been out for a minute. You see those pictures. It was more popular before COVID hit, and the trajectory changed, but it was on its way to be one of the top things. People would dress their loved ones up that passed away in a car or sitting in a chair, and with glasses on, like they really there, and pray and memorializing them. Yeah, no, we serious, dead serious. Right before COVID hit, thank God COVID hit. Huh? Right. Thank God COVID hit, because it was about to be ridiculous. You was about to see, like you said, Uncle Earl stretched out on his couch with his arm up with his Crown Royal in his hand and his cigarette in his mouth. Earl with a cigarette hanging out his mouth. Right. Yeah. So it's Lenin. Lenin, I say Lenin. Yep. Yeah, I told you. Not Stalin. Yeah, because Stalin ain't had a beard. That's why. Yeah. Yeah, that feels black.
sitting on that hot ass plastic covered couch. That crematory makeup melting down your face, looking like the Crayola people. Yeah, I'm not.
Looking like Jermaine Jackson.
Looking straight up like a sweat box ass Jermaine Jackson.
2,800.
We go home. Oh man, but I still. The thing is, what make me upset the most about us, us as in U.S. We always going to fight another nigga fight. Like, oh, he's being bullied. Let's go over here and help them fight. Like, nigga.
Well, in this case, though, I don't think this really has nothing to do in terms of the United States getting involved and the other nations. It has nothing to do with the Ukraine. Mm-hmm. It has everything to do with the fact that they don't want him to think that he running shit.
Yeah.
Like globally, meaning like that he would then try to say, well, y'all need to hit him with the bow down when I come to your town. Right. Bow down because I'm westward bound.
Right.
Yeah.
This is so. The other thing, though, right? I also think the United States knows how to pick its battles, right? So they might not run over to that nuclear war country of Russia and be like, we want some. You know, they sure ain't fucking with North Korea. Like I think they're just spaces where you like, that's not my lane, and I stay out of trouble if I just stay in my lane. It's easier to go to Afghanistan, right? Because it's a developing country and you can more easily dismantle it. I don't know how you show up in a pound on pound country and say we're gonna take over. I don't know how you do that.
Well, no, I agree with you, but that's to your point. The only reason that they are not jumping in is because it really would be the end of the world. Mm-hmm. Like they got nukes, we got nukes, so everybody start firing nukes. And it's a wrap. Look at Chernobyl. That was just an accident. It's still people with two heads.
Right. That whole area is still radioactive.
Yeah.
Still toxic. Yeah.
So I think that is what they're trying to avoid. Hence the reason that they've placed all these economic sanctions on them. And I think what they're hoping is that the Russian sentiment, because most of the Russian people they weren't over there chanting, take over the Ukraine. They could care less about that. This is Putin's thing. I think what they're hoping is, hey, we're going to cripple them economically, at which point in time, folks are going to be in such despair that they're going to say, hey, dude, put up out of there. I need my ruble is now, and this is a true statement, a ruble has the same value as a U.S. cent. Right.
Okay. Oh man.
A penny. So I mean, you know, and then they were saying, you know, they're not letting play if you are a Russian plane and you're trying to fly. You
can't fly out of
airspace.
Yep.
They won't let you out. Turkey announced something the other day that said you can't use our straits to sail your warships through.
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, I think what they're hoping is they will eventually be like, hey, Putin, let me holler at you, man. This ain't beneficial for us at all. We was doing all right. Why don't you slide on back over here, man?
But do you think so? Do you think somebody with that type of personality would be like, okay, I'm just gonna give up? I think he's gonna escalate to the point where it's gonna be like, okay, who's taking him out?
Well, no, and that was my next thing.
Right.
My next thing is it wouldn't surprise me if even in the Soviet Union, somebody said, hey, dude, this don't concern our best interest. Somebody gonna have to off the former KGB.
Right.
He's 69. He about to be 70 anyway. So, who got this? So we can get back to normal over here.
Yeah, like I want to say Peter the First. That's what they was doing back in the day when they was czar. They was murking niggas like, oh, he's not doing good for the company. Merc, next one. So, and especially if they're starving, like you said, they cut off a lot of the supplies to going over there. Apple even said they cutting off their stuff from going over there. Everybody. Yeah. Niggas can't get their iPhone fixed.
He had to have, in my opinion, predicted this, right? You would predict that this is how countries work.
That is ego.
I don't think so. I think his ego, like Free said, I think his ego led him to believe, one, that this takeover would be swift. Mm-hmm. So one, you wouldn't even really have all this. And then two, I think he felt like we are who we are. So people aren't going to get involved in this. They just going to let it be our fight. But to your point, they did have something planned. They had I just looked, it's like a 600 and my numbers are probably off, but it was like a 693 billion dollar fund that they had set up in Europe for rainy day fund in case the economy crashed. Yeah. It's frozen too. They got all that.
Oh, man.
They done froze everything. They nah, you can't get to this bread, buddy.
Man, they froze everything, and they had the Klitschko brothers shooting at them niggas too. Vladimir and Nikolai Klitschko.
We talking about this. We talking about this. Maybe Putin is black. They done froze all his accounts. That's what they do to us. They freeze all our accounts. But with that being said, I mean, the people of the Ukraine are they standing up for themselves, which is all you can ask for. One, and then two, I mean, I don't think that based on how this has happened, I do not think history is going to look favorably upon Soviet Union. Even if they eventually overtake them, I just don't think it's now. It's not going to be a good look. It's not going to be the look that he was trying to achieve anyway.
But you know what? The people in Ukraine about it though. I saw a video they just made a house-made Molotov and just rolled it and threw it up under a tank. They fuck it. Come on.
Well, I've even heard that some Soviet Union soldiers have gotten separated from their squad, and they're like, hey, I just want something to eat. I ain't even meant to be over here. If you can point me to some food, I'm gonna go about my way. This is them. I don't even want to do this.
But that's what they said. A lot of them that they've captured, the Russians said that they've captured, are very young, 18, 19-year-old, and they're unequipped. They're not trained. They have no understanding of what's going on. And I think they're defense minister or whatever was we let them call their mama. Wow. That's how bad this is. Here, call your mama. Right. Tell me come get you. Right. What are you doing? Right. That's how bad this was, and how poorly thought out it was.
Yeah. That's ego, though. Ego will tell you.
That's true.
Ego will say, hey, you can do this. Don't worry. So what our soldiers aren't ready and developed, don't worry about it. They're going to bow down because you're Russia. You're Putin. You got this.
Yeah, so we'll sit back and continue to monitor this. We'll see whether or not the United States and other countries' involvement picks up if Putin decides to escalate matters even further. But we'll sit back and monitor it and see how it goes. And in other news, today, or was it yesterday?
I think it was today.
Mm-hmm. Today, well, I was going to say all African American men who are high potential men. Gotta be high potential. You now have a chance.
It's high value.
High value. I'm sorry, high value.
It's high value.
You now have an opportunity again because Kim Kardashian is legally single.
Oh boy.
Yep, she has dropped the West from her name legally. She is now just Kim Kardashian.
Well, what does legally single mean? Maybe Dandridge can explain.
Yeah, please explain it to us.
Here's what I want to know first. This is something that I'm very interested in, and I think the male perspective is helpful here. Mm-hmm. What is the attraction to a Kardashian? What is that?
I am not attracted, so you go on. They look like cardboard copies of every they got lip implants, they got butt implants, they got breast implants, you got nose jobs. They don't even look like they used to look when they were teenagers. You know what I'm saying? They look plastic. So to me, I don't have that attraction. So,
but I'm saying you have seemingly deep, so whether it's Devin Booker or I can't think of his name, little crybaby that's with the Nets now who refused to play with the 76ers. Ben Simmons, you have all these people James Harden. I mean, there's a trend happening here now that I'm looking at this a little more closely.
Oh, I see.
Like, but it's like, what is? I'm trying to understand what's the attraction. I don't know, and I'm not a man, so it's very hard for me to understand it because you know you about to get in the middle of